Hello, everybody. Hi, welcome, and thank you so much for being here. We're gonna do a collective and timeless reading. So, whenever this reading finds its way to you is the right time. But just remember, it is a general reading. So see which signs and symbols resonate for you and help to bring you some kind of clarity to whatever you're concerned or confused about. It could just broaden your perspective and all of a sudden you see something in a totally different light. Or it could narrow your focus and show you something you may have been missing. But in the end, you trust yourself. Trust yourself. You have that inner divine guidance inside of you to bring you clarity. In the end, always try to have sound decisions that are balanced between your logic and your intuition so that we are all uplifted in love. Let's begin. We are going to start with the healing with the Angels Oracle cards. Let's see what God, Source, Holy Spirit, Christ consciousness, our higher selves, angels, and energies of love have for the highest and the greatest good of all. Clarity for the collective, overall energy and focus for the now. I keep seeing the snow and all of the sudden in the snow, this big, beautiful, almost like tropical flower just blossoms out of nowhere, like out of season, out of place. And it looks beautiful. It's like, I feel like there's something with like big, vibrant colors against a snowy backdrop, a blank canvas. I'm not sure how that's going to relate to the reading, but that's what I see right now. So maybe there's something beautiful blossoming in like odd circumstances or at an odd time or out of nowhere. Let's get some clarity. I'm not sure what that means. Clarity for the collective. Oh, well, maybe we have a romance coming through out of nowhere. So, all right, guys, this is the energy that's going on right now. You're thinking about romance, or somebody else is thinking about romantic situations with you. Maybe it's been a long time since you've been in a relationship. Or maybe you've been in a now I'm stumbling my words again. Here we go. Maybe you've been in a relationship for a very long time, but maybe this is sort of like taking a pause. So, it makes me think of a really weird deck of cards that they're not like an oracle card. It's just a random deck I bought one time on like how to go out on fun dates. And I think each card has like a scratch off, almost like a lottery ticket. So you don't know what the date's gonna be, but it has like symbols, like how much money you could spend, what you have to wear if it involves nature, how much time you need, whether it's a messy situation or not that you have to clean up. Honestly, I've actually never used those cards. But who knows what the future might bring if they ever come out of the shelf. But maybe it's been a while since you've gone on a sexy date, and maybe it's time to rewrite that a little bit. If you are with your honey and you're just always going through the daily chores and work and all that, maybe you need to actually schedule in a date, or say once a month, once a week, twice a month, whatever. You're going on a date, you're getting yourself a babysitter, and you're gonna do this. And there is no way to do a rain date, like that it's a absolute must to do. Or maybe this just is brand new energy working its way towards some of you. We're gonna get clarity on that. So let's see. I feel like I should pull one more card with this. It's not going to be about romance. That's probably the only one like that in this deck. But let's get another layer of what's going on. And we have Guardian Angel. So there's like divine help in this situation. I hear coordination. So, you know, perhaps I'm getting that some of you maybe forget sometimes when you're in the circus of your life and you get confused about things to just ask the divine, ask God, ask whatever you know, have faith in, ask the universe, ask your guardian angels for a little bit of help, a little bit of clarity on which direction to go or how to handle a certain situation or person, or that you need a clue, you know, that you need a direction, you need an answer, and then just allow it to come through. You will feel that help, you know, but we are here on this crazy earth to learn, to grow, to mess up, and that does create growth. So, you know, sometimes I feel I'm getting like us making a weird decision or somebody making a funny decision at some point in your life, and with abundance of love, your guardian angel just kind of doing like this, but just wanting to hug you anyway. So, you know, it's okay to mess up. Have that allowance, have that forgiveness with yourself. And if you need a little extra help, ask. It's here for us. So, guardian angel, I'm getting a feather or a song. So maybe it's signs and symbols that come through today or soon with you that you know that it's meaningful to you. You know, it's not really for anybody else. So whether that's a feather or perhaps a flower, a coin, or lyrics in a song that you hear randomly on the radio, in the store, on Pandora, or whatever you listen to, you're gonna hear some kind of message coming through that's going to help you. Or just, I'm getting like a little burst of faith, of hope, to know that it's going to be okay. That something's gonna change. I'm getting a change. So, oh, I'll show you the bottom of the deck since I mentioned music. It's music. Cool. So maybe some of you are musicians. You play an instrument, you sing in the shower, you know, or you just connect to music. This could be you sending cool songs back and forth to a particular person. Maybe it's hard to express how you really feel, but you can say it through a song, you know, or there's something special in that song that has a certain feeling or a certain lyric that just, I don't know, like it's like a conversation without a conversation. I'm also getting energy with this, you know, how a piece of music can completely change your energy. So let's see, let's get more clarity on guardian angel, romance, and music. I'm hearing the word legacy. I'm not sure why. Maybe some of you are writers. Maybe you write music and this is going to leave a legacy, like leave in an artistic imprint behind that can trigger and help others deal with an emotional state that maybe you've been through that others can relate to. That's very, very powerful, and that's very healing. And that just gave me goosebumps. So somebody out there is a writer, or you don't know you are yet and you need to write some music. It's gonna help change the world. Do it. We all wanna hear your song. All right, so let's get another card. We're gonna go to the soul's journey. Let's get clarity on music, guardian angel, and romance. clarity for the collective. Gonna shuffle again. Oh, I just had a really weird vision. I'm not sure where this one came from. So I see somebody like playing a CD over and over, or playing an episode of a TV show or something like that over and over and over and repeating it. But they have a brand new CD or a blank CD to record on, or like the new episode, and they just have this, they're like stalled. You or someone else you know is like stalling on listening to like part 2 or the next thing. And you know, maybe you got so comfortable with that thing that you had on repeat that you're, or someone else is actually afraid to start something new, play something different. All right, I just, oh my God. What I'm thinking, I don't know if any of you have seen The Walking Dead, but there's that time where Daryl is kept in captivity and they play that song over and over and over and over, and it's actually like a form of torture. What is that song? It's called like Easy Street or something like that. And so maybe there's something that you keep repeating because it's comfortable, but it's almost like it's becoming torturous to continue this or have this play. You need to put a new CD in, play a new piece of music. Like there's new energy that's going to change everything up, but you just have to play the CD. So I'm not getting where that stalling energy is. That was a real big sidetrack. I hope that was helpful for somebody, or perhaps that's what whoever you're concerned about is going through, to give you a little clarity. I feel like eventually that CD or that episode is going to start. It is going to begin, and it's going to feel like a relief, like, oh my gosh, why did it take so long? But maybe there's like a tweener time right now. All right, let's get clarity for the collective. Perseverance. So I know I can do whatever I set my mind to. So it's a mindset. So maybe some of you are getting in your own way, having doubts, you know, afraid of failing. Maybe it's starting with a plan. Maybe it's just starting. Sometimes that first step is the hardest. You know, you're never gonna get where you're gonna be if you don't like get in the car and put your seatbelt on and put the gas on and go. You have to try. You have to try. You'll never know. The only thing you're gonna regret is not trying. So try something. I feel like this is a talent that somebody out there has. It's something that you have inside of you. Maybe it's still really new. Maybe you don't even know how good you are going to be at something yet, but you have this inside knowing that you kind of want to try something. I just heard Reiki. So maybe for some of you, it's Reiki or some kind of healing. Maybe some of you just have always been interested in astrology. You know, you read the horoscope, but maybe you don't understand how well you will understand and perceive it. You know, like a map, like putting something together, like a U map, and you're just going to get it. And the more you learn, the more you are going to be able to teach that perhaps in the future. So I feel like for some of you, it's starting to learn something, starting to practice something. And the more you do it, you know, the better you're going to get. I see you just getting brighter. So I know that I can do whatever I set my mind to. You can. You can. So maybe you need to change your focus and try to get in that positive mindset that you're just going to give something a go. Give it a try. Let it out there and see what happens. Let's get clarity on perseverance. I'm also hearing preserve, and that just made me think of like in the winter or in the fall when you harvest, you know, maybe fruits and vegetables, and then you make them into preserves so that you have a supply over the winter months. So maybe some of you do something with food, culinary skills. Maybe some of you are starting to just put together something in your pantry so that if you're ever in a time where a storm comes, the power goes out, something weird goes on, you have rice, you have beans, you have your tuna fish, you have your water supply. Like, I'm getting that, like getting ready for a storm kind of energy where you need to have like basic supplies. So if that's something, I know that's a weird message to come from that card. So if some of you have been thinking about that, maybe it's easy to do it little by little. So when you go to the store, you don't have to fill up your whole pantry in one go. Maybe just buy 5 extra cans of beans, or, you know, taking those, you know, bags of beans and putting them in containers that are like, all right, I do have this, by the way, but I use like old protein powder, like the big plastic containers, so that, you know, it protects it from, you know, bugs or whatever, like nothing can get in there, it's preserved. So, you know, maybe it's just a little bit, you know, every time you go, buy a couple extra things and have it there. And maybe it's not even for you that it will be used for. Maybe it's somebody else at some point that's going to need some extra food or supplies, and you have it. That gave me chills. So that's for somebody. You're going to be able to help somebody at some point from just tucking a little away here and there. You know, it's not like a lot extra out of your pocket, but it could make a really big difference later. So, wow, that was a weird message to get with perseverance. I hope that was helpful for some of you. I'm also seeing a lot of candles now. So, like, do I have any here? Yeah, I have one here. I'll show you. Like these kind of candles, like, you know, you find at the grocery store and the dollar store, but they last a long time. And it's always good to have candles, matches, batteries, you know, the simple, necessary things. So maybe it's supplies like that as well. All right, let's continue. I like when weird messages come through because I feel like they're meant to get out there to somebody for a reason that will be helpful. And it will feel like, like I didn't think about it much at the time, but now I feel so blessed that I prepared this. All right, let's see. Clarity on perseverance. Love. All right, so we're circling on back to the romance department, but this could just be love. This could be that helping energy, you know, to give because you can, because you were there, and because you want to, and it feels good. It's sharing love. It makes me think of that, what is that emoji where it's like the heart and the other heart and they just kind of go around. You know, it's that circulating kind of love. But if this is speaking about a particular relationship that you're thinking about, it involves your heart. This says, I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things. Try to see this situation through the eyes of love. You know, if I just heard ghosted, you know, or like you don't know what's going on in a situation, there's something going on in the dark, and perhaps you're coming up with all these scenarios, or you're really upset, so you're thinking blah, 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 and it's okay to go through emotions, but maybe take a step back and simply send love from your soul to their soul, that whatever they are going through, that they are, you know, just blessed with a loving, healing, strong energy, and just leave it at that. And then just trust. And I just heard no, like a no. So sometimes, guys, if you do get a no somewhere, you get a rejection, something like that, just know that sometimes it's God's protection. either to give you space so something can change, you know, in a different space without you seeing, and you go back to doing something else or having a different experience, or maybe something just isn't right for you, or it's just not right for you anymore or right now. So I'm getting that for some of you. Now I hear blessing, and I see that it looks like in this card, like the center looks like a beautiful pearl. So maybe it's a pearl of wisdom, you know, or, you know, I see like a pearl in a shell, which now makes me think of Venus, like divine feminine energy. There's also the commit word here. So maybe commitment is on its way. Seeing good in all things. Love yourself. I hear love yourself. Start by loving yourself. I know this is weird, but I just see you, or, you know, some of you, like doing it's like almost awkward, like you don't want anybody to see you because it's a little bit weird, but like going to the mirror and talking to yourself, like giving yourself a compliment, even if that feels really weird. Like say, like, you look beautiful today, even if you can only say, your shirt is awesome, or, you know what, today your hair looks pretty good in this kind of weather. Whatever you can do that is something positive to say to yourself, maybe just start there, even though that feels a little awkward and you probably wouldn't do it by yourself, because maybe you can do it in front of others, you know, but tell yourself something nice and beautiful today. And then, you know what, tomorrow, tell yourself something nice and beautiful that's different. And then the next day, find something else, something to be grateful for, to be thankful for. And then just see how much you end up seeing about yourself. And then, I don't know, that's totally a side note, but I feel like that might be really helpful for some of you. So even if it's like a little bit awkward to like go in the mirror and start talking to yourself, like tell yourself something awesome, or just be like, you know what, like, you're a really good writer. You have a way with words. Good job, self. You know, or, you know, you handled that thing so well today. Proud of you. Good job. Do it again. You know, like it could be a situation. It doesn't have to be a compliment, but something positive. And tomorrow, something else. And then make this like something that you do, and I don't know, maybe see how much changes when you start to recognize these beautiful things about you. All right. So, all right, well, if I'm doing 2 cards, we might as well show you what's at the bottom. It says death. So this is, I am learning that endings are just new beginnings. That's beautiful. This is when it's just like you're not a caterpillar anymore. You're growing wings. You're not that thing anymore. You're not how you were. You have changed. The situation has changed. There is something new and fresh and exciting. And I just keep hearing blessed coming in for you. So endings, you know, sometimes there's a no. Sometimes a door closes, and that's okay, because you know what? When you perhaps like have to change jobs, have to move to a new town, have to, you know, end a relationship, or a friendship goes away, or, you know, something that you had that was natural that you were around just goes away, it sometimes like is a little bit extra like energy that is forced upon us by the divine to be somewhere different, because sometimes you have to be somewhere different. And if perhaps that next job is just not what you imagine, maybe we're going to go, I hear job. So maybe for some of you, you had a great, beautiful job, or, you know, you made all this money or whatever was going on, and you were on the ladder, and then something happened, and now you're working at, you know, someplace that's like not I'm getting like up to your means or like up to your level or something like that. Maybe it's just a detour. Maybe it's just a side door. It's just the hallway that you need to be in right now. So if you're working, I don't know, I see a deli actually. So maybe, you know, temporarily you're in a deli. But you know what? Maybe you're going to meet some person in that deli that's going to give you the right connection to the job you're supposed to be at. Or that conversation is going to happen there. Or maybe you're going to figure out this is freaking amazing. And you're going to start saving up to have your own deli. Like you didn't even know. Huh, look at that. You know, sometimes we are taken to really weird spots so that we can change course. So just trust that change. All right, that was weird. I'm getting like all kinds of weird stuff today, guys. So let's move along. Let's go to the tarot. I don't know, for some reason I was feeling like Vargas energy today, like a little pinup energy. So I pulled the Pulp Tarot. Let's get some clarity on guardian angel, romance, love, death, perseverance, and music. I just thought of the Leela James song. It's called Music. I think there's another song called Music by Vivian Green as well. Clarity for the collective. Let's get some clarity on the energy coming around, where the collective's focus needs to be. Helpful advice on direction. I keep hearing 3, so I'm going to pull 3 cards like right off the bat. So let's see. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so we have the 2 of Pentacles, the 9 of Cups, and the King of Cups. So there is an offer of like true love coming your way, whether that's your job or a project or a partnership. There is somebody around you for sure with this King of Cups energy that just, it's like they're abundant in love. But the King of Cups is, I hear even Steven, like he's very even with how to approach somebody and how to communicate that loving energy. You know, it's not overwhelming and it's not underwhelming. It's just right. He's confident in his emotions. I actually saw like, I saw this guy in this fancy suit and then him pulling up his sleeve and there's like a big tattoo of a heart there. So maybe he keeps something under wraps. It's he or she, but it's a masculine energy either way. So, you know, maybe somebody you know like is a certain way in public, but there's like a softer undertone that maybe you're the one that's going to discover it or know about. Maybe people at work don't even know this about this person, but I feel like there is a, I hear empathy, or like, I feel like there's a softness there, even if they're a tough dude or gal. So King of Cups is either you, it's usually a water sign. So Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, but doesn't have to be. And this energy is either you or somebody around you that you are dealing with that is helpful to you or that is coming to you. But there is look at this girl with the 9 of Cups. It's awesome. I was going to say there is a juggling going on. So there has to be this balance either between work and home or different projects or children and romance Or maybe some of you are juggling, you know, going on a couple different dates and who is the right person for you, or somebody else is trying to figure that out. But it's a juggling kind of energy. It's figuring out how to balance and structure your life so something isn't too heavy. Because if you're doing all work and no play, you know, you're not replenishing your energy. If you're doing all play and no sleep, that's not helpful. If you're, you know, only doing stuff with your family and your children and you're giving and you don't give yourself a good, like, you day to relax, then something is being depleted. So it's learning how to juggle that energy so that, you know, I see somebody like juggling a bowling ball, an orange, and a marble. You know, even if there needs to be a different amount of attention towards different areas in your life, you need to figure out how, you know, how high to throw something so that you can give the other thing appropriate time to come down into your hands. I hope that made sense. I know that was really weird. But in this particular card, I must say, she doesn't really look like she's having trouble juggling. It looks like she's handling these different things pretty good, pretty solid. I'll show you this picture. She's got on like a little sailor's hat. And then if you look behind her, it's interesting here. It's like there's a little sailboat here, and it's like a military tanker going on over here. So maybe that's the thing, like something's, you know, has this big electric, you know, or not, you know, this big like engine running it. And then the other thing is just being moved by the sail, moved by the wind, moved by natural way. So I feel like that's the two different energies. Maybe something, you know, needs a lot of, like, I'm getting like manpower or energy. You know, I just see the engine room and like putting coals in the fire and people on their radios and, you know, coordinating everything. And a lot has to go on for something to work. Although maybe there's a way for this big thing that has, you know, a lot of people or energy like going on to go on a little bit of autopilot. Maybe there's a way to program something so there's an autopilot thing. I hope that's helpful, whatever that is. Maybe autopilot needs to go on so you can go on to this other energy where it's a little more free. It's like the sailboat makes me think of like vacation, you know, your downtime, something you really enjoy, working with the elements, going with the natural flow of something. So whatever this is that you're figuring out the balance between is bringing you towards the Nine of Cups. It's bringing you towards your ultimate wish come true. This is the genie in a bottle. This, you know, this is the open bar, you know, but if, you know, that's definitely what it looks like here. It looks like this girl just has all these cups around her. You know, she's masculine and feminine because she's in this beautiful sheer, like negligee thing, right? But she's holding this tie. You know, she's holding this man's tie. This is a very sexy card, but she only has one cup in her hand. You know, you don't have to drink everything available at the open bar to feel satisfied. So, Nine of Cups, and it's the genie in a bottle. So do be careful what you ask for. You just might get it, you know? So do you really want it, or are you ready for it? I feel like whatever this is, you are ready for. I feel like we should, well, I was going to say, let's pull another card, but let's look at the bottom of the deck because we have the big old tower. So yes, something big is changing. Something big is coming in that feels different. It feels new. Maybe you thought you could never have that wish come true. Maybe you thought it was never going to happen. Whatever that is for you, you can have it. Like everything is going to change. Everything's going to be different. Your perception is going to be like you just never knew. So allow whatever is moving around and changing or going away or coming on into your world out of nowheres, that this is like it's a divine plan. There is something in the works. Whatever comes through, you know, whatever big is changing and sudden and different and perhaps very uncomfortable, just know it is coming through to give you the blessing and the opportunity to build or rebuild, you know, to build something in a totally different new place, perhaps with a different partner, or, you know, by yourself if you always had a partner. It's that chance to create this structure in your life that can just get better and better, and to do it right. And if I just saw like knitting. So if you get to, you know, you're building a house and you're going to build all these stories, and you get to a certain floor and you realize you don't really like how that is, you can always like redo something. You can change it as you go, but whatever it is, it's giving you that solid foundation that you need, that wasn't there the last time, to actually have it. So let's go to, I want to go to a different tarot deck. Let's get clarity. I have, what is this called? It's called the Wheel of the Year Tarot. Let's get some clarity on each of these cards. I'm going to do them separate. So, Two of Pentacles, King of Cups, Nine of Cups. Maybe you have different dreams as well. I see some of you like almost wanting to, like, it's almost like you want to start a new chapter in maybe work, or, you know, something creative or business wise, and you're also starting a new relationship, or like, you know, revising your old relationship to make it new again at the same time. So it's like multiple wishes coming true, but you didn't expect to have to handle it all at once. Or maybe more than two for some of you. Let's see, one more shuffle. Let's start with clarity on, let's start with this sexy guy here in his suit. He's also out by this boat. He's like by the dock. Just made me think of Dock of the Bay. Yeah, it's almost like he's getting on his sailboat, and then here you have the sailboat. So maybe some of you are doing something on a boat, or you work by the water, or by the ocean, or by a lake. Something like that. Maybe you're planning something for another season where you're going to go there, and that's where you're going to meet this person. I know this is very specific, but I heard both Cape May, and then I heard Old Bay. So one is a seasoning, but I do know that that seasoning is popular in certain areas, like maybe down south. So maybe it's one of those areas where, like, I don't know, I feel like I've been to certain states, maybe like Maryland or something like that, and you go in the store and even the potato chips have like Old Bay seasoning, but you don't really find that in other states. That was very specific. So maybe it has to do with that location, or that's kind of where you are, or maybe where this person is from. That just took me back to the chefs, you know, the culinary energy I see. Maybe you're taking spices. You know, if you are a chef or even a home chef, you're learning to use spices from exotic locations. Maybe it's not Old Bay at all. You know, maybe it's like saffron, or that's what I see, like saffron, or, you know, different herbs that grow in, that just made me think of black emperor rice, the emperor's rice. I can speak. I think it's called the forbidden rice. Made me think of that. You know, maybe you're taking exotic ingredients to a simple location or your environment, And I'm just seeing you getting creative or expressing your creativity or interest, maybe just talking to somebody in a way that you introduce it to others that would never have known about it. But I mean, that could be a parable as well. You know, your specific little spice on something is going to be brought to an audience or a place where they never even heard of it. Your little special, you know, sprinkle of something is unique somehow or exotic somehow for, you know, where it's being presented. And I feel like if that is you, however that makes sense, whether that's your art, your music, your way of speaking, your information, your knowledge on something, I feel like it's going to be very well received, you know. And that was cool. All right, let's see. I keep shuffling these cards, and I know when messages come through, it's usually when, you know, in that tweener time. So that's just how it comes through. All right, King of Cups, clarity. The Four of Pentacles, or the Four of Cups. So here it has this girl, and she's like trapped inside the house, and it's like it's raining outside. It's like she's sitting there with her cat, just staring outside at the rain. But look at the beautiful flowers that are growing because it's the rain. It also looks like even though it's raining, it is sunny. It's that like sunshine through the rain. And as this rain is pouring, as this emotional situation is happening, you know, these cups are actually all filled. But sometimes this is like I look at this as like the wah wah card, like the boring card, you know, the like not paying attention to blessings card. Like there's usually a blessing when this card comes through. You just have to change your perspective to see it. Or it's like hesitating or not knowing how to make a decision, or it could be like deep contemplation, you know. You're really, really, really trying to make the right decision on something emotional, but you know, you have to eventually move that decision and that energy and that, you know, you have to eventually get out there and change that energy around. I feel like this girl just wants to, or guy, go out and dance in the rain, you know? So why not do it? Do it. Go dance in the rain. Singing in the rain. Just, that's what I see now. This is like Fred Astaire. Is that Fred Astaire? So this is on this king. So maybe this king is just in this sense of contemplation, maybe not knowing how to make something like special or how to, I don't know, I get like planning energy here. Maybe he's been planning so long that they're not making any moves. They're like waiting for the season to change, for the rain to stop. Maybe it's just taking those plans you're thinking of or what you're contemplating and just going out in the rain. Maybe you're going to come up with a new idea out there. Or, you know, maybe it's time for this king to move out of this want energy and do something exciting. Or that's going to happen. Let's get, I feel like one more card. Clarity on the Four of Cups. Clarity on the Four of Cups and the King of Cups. Oh, you have the Queen of Swords. So this could be a couple. Or this could be him going towards somebody that's single and really independent, really strong. Maybe that makes him or her nervous. But if this is the advice is to communicate, to be clear, to be direct, to say no when it's not right, you know, to, like, if this situation I hear like flags. So that makes me think of like follow the green flags, but pay attention to the red flags. And then I'm getting like the, like, what is that? Like white flag is like surrender. I just thought of Dido. She says the white flag on her tongue. It's a weird lyric. So the king, I mean, this queen, she's like an ice queen here. She's a little bit of like Snow White vibes, but I love the Queen of Swords. I mean, it could be an air sign, so Aquarius, a Gemini, or a Libra, but the Queen of Swords is a badass. She's amazing. She just doesn't want to deal with any bullshit. She's gone through it. She doesn't want to do it again. So sometimes it's a little bit harsh, but it's direct. It's to the point. You know what's going on. There's no wishy-washy shit going on there. You know, if something is not right for her and she sees that red flag, nope, not going to happen. There's boundaries. So maybe you're learning to, maybe, you know, the King of Cups is learning to create boundaries or speak his truth. You know, maybe tap into this like fierce feminine energy inside him to, you know, really speak his mind. If he's over in his, you know, heart and his thoughts, but he never speaks it, maybe it's taking some advice from her. She's also a really good teacher. The Queen of Swords is able to, I mean, she's just able to use her words and her experiences to teach. I'm getting even like younger energies on like, give them good advice. Like she's like, you know, like, hey, when I was in high school or when I was in this, I had this experience with this relationship, blah, 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 blah. And, you know, she just like tells the story as it is. So it could be like shocking a little bit. Like maybe, you know, I'm getting like if it's like a nurturing, motherly kind of energy and there's a child or a teenager or something like that, maybe they just ignored the, you know, like it sucks. Like it just made me think of sometimes like I'll start talking about like, you know, certain things that are like, you know, like that have to do with like sexy stuff or whatever. And I'll say like stuff to my mom and she just like can't even hear it. She's just like, I just can't even like, that's just a subject I can't. So maybe this person can't even like, hasn't had that confident, just like tell it like it is. You're with your girls, you're with your guys, and you're just talking about whatever kind of energy. And I feel like this Queen of Swords is able to like just give the truth on something. So it's not like, maybe it doesn't have to be a bad experience. Maybe somebody can learn from hers. Or that's a couple, you know, it's a air and water energy together. Maybe this dichotomy is getting both of them out of this boredom. Maybe, you know, it's softening her heart a little bit, you know, melting that ice. It just makes me think of like, this is what I see. Like, you know, they're both kind of bored and looking out the window here. And whoever these two are, it's almost like, you know, he walks into this picture, you know, bringing the energy of the seashore and his fancy little outfit her way where there's this snow. And it's almost like whatever energy is now combined here is like making that flower I saw grow in the beginning just grow out of the snow. All right, let's get clarity on the Two of Pentacles. Clarity on the Two of Pentacles, balance. The 10 of, what is this? The 10 of Wands. All right, so there is a heavy energy. The 10 of Wands means something is going on that feels really heavy, like you've always had to do it yourself, or somebody else has always had to do it themselves. So I feel like when the 10 of Rods comes in, here you actually do have help. There's a couple here and they are both carrying this basket of watermelons, which are heavy, by the way. So it's probably a heavy basket, but you do have help here. There's somebody willing to carry the big ass watermelons with you. And it's laying down burdens by recognizing that there's help, even if it's just divine help, you know, that there's tools around you can use, you know, so you don't have to carry everything yourself. Now it took me back to that autopilot thing, you know, maybe there's a way to do something. So I'm getting like residual income. So maybe this is like, I don't know, somehow an investment or of your time or something. It could be monetary, but can be put out there so that it can grow and manifest without so much attention being onto something all the time. I hope that's helpful for you. But it is a 10, so it's the end. It's recognizing how to not have to carry the load by yourself somehow. Maybe it's in a relationship. Maybe you did all the work and you're going to figure out somehow with speaking your truth or speaking your heart that there is a way to find this balance in energy. You know, a balance between everything going on. It could start with a conversation, but this is making it up that hill to this cute little like cottage of warmth. But, you know, maybe there's a way to like get on the horse, or like use a wheelbarrow, like put the watermelons in a car this time. There's a way to do it where it's easier. Let's get clarity on the Nine of Cups. Wishes coming true. Genie in a bottle, an abundance, like everything you need, and you got the World. So yeah, you do have a connection to something that's going to get out there to the world, by the way. Some of you are going to connect to the world. Maybe just go to a specific place in the world or somebody in the world. I'm getting that exotic energy. Maybe somebody's going to be really different than you. Is going to find their way to you. But in this card in particular, I do see the 4 seasons. So maybe it's going to take a year, or it's going to take a couple of years, or, you know, give something a year, give something some time, or this, you got all the seasons here. She looks like she's looking up towards the snow, towards that pause. But I mean, there's just all this growth around her. So you have a big, beautiful ending coming through. A big, beautiful, like something is, maybe it felt heavy, but it's going to feel like a release. This is the take a bow card for me. Like, take a bow. There's something you learned a lot. You did a really good job. And you have big, huge, beautiful blessings coming through with this World card. You have this grand chapter. Let's see what's at the bottom of the deck. Oh, well, we have Death again. I think that happened in another reading where we had the Death card come through twice. So, yeah, it's time to release, you know, crawling on the ground and something not working, and to grow your wings and fly. It's time to remember to live, to make today special. What can you do today to make, you know, make it feel like you did something you're proud of? Like, hey, I did that today. I at least made that call today. I got out and I did that today. What is that for you? It's remembering how beautiful this world is and how much beauty you can expect coming through. It's that light at the end of the tunnel. It's total transformation. This is the phoenix rising for you. You know, this is becoming something totally different. So the phoenix is rising in your life. New energy is coming through for you. I am so happy for you. This reading was cool and weird and all over the place, and I hope it was helpful for you. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here. I wish you so much love. Mwah.